when we get into situations like that where we've got this stuff. But it's just learning to listen to one another and do that. A thought for you that I would like to throw out there is that from the position of a worship leader, when we're leading a church, we don't always have to have more people singing the melody, which is kind of why I put sopranos on that harmony today, because it's a different situation for you guys. But when you have several people on a mic, if two or more people are singing the same part, if you try to sing unison, singing unison on the microphones does not necessarily bring about a better sound. It can bring a bigger sound, but bigger's not always better. It's only bigger because you have more people. But unless you are really trained and have practiced on how to tune with somebody else and how to blend with somebody else, then it's really it will make it sound worse out front. Now, people won't know why. They're just like, oh, the singers are kind of off today, but they don't know why it sounds off. It just sounds off. And so if you've got 3 people that are up there, and maybe you got 2 guys, you don't necessarily want both guys singing the melody. You only want one person singing the melody and let the other guy sing a harmony, or just sing off the microphone. You can have up there, I'll put people up on stage for energy, but I don't always want them on the microphone. Because just having voices on the microphone doesn't help us. The energy actually comes from the intonation being right, and the blending being right. That we're attacking it, we're starting things together, we're cutting things off together. Just like I did that, "You're a good, good father." Like I'm ghosting that note instead of "Father." And so everybody has to sing that in the same way. And so you have to be able to do that in the same way. So that's just another thought, and you can develop that as you go through that. But, okay, I'm going to pause for a second, and I want to ask you if you have any questions about what I've been taking us through, or anything that feels weird or uncomfortable that you want to ask about. More what? Okay. Well, let's do it again. Okay, we can do this. Yes. Right. Right. Yes. Yeah. Which is that's definitely a skill. Yes. And I'm not super. I grew up playing trumpet, so I instinctively know how to do it. But I'm not as good at communicating how to do that well. Yeah, Jessica. Okay, so you're talking about when you're in rehearsal and you're preparing for the Sunday service, and then there's whoever's leading the song may not be really locked in, and you might want to make a suggestion, and you're trying to figure out, how do I make this suggestion in a way that doesn't hurt this brother's feelings, and where it feels like that I'm trying to take over, and then we have the whole women's role come into it, and then we start getting into the Bible and all that stuff, right? And then we're just done, and it's like, you know what, sing it however you want, right? Yeah. Is that kind of what you're asking? Yeah. Okay. So they're working on EQ. He's teaching them how to do EQ back there, which is why it keeps changing up here. But that's good. I'm glad that they're doing that, which is really helpful. No, you're good. I love it. Are you talking about when they're singing a part wrong? Right. Yes. Right. Right. Yeah. This is the age-old dilemma of do we clap on 2 and 4 or 1 and 3, right? And which especially trying to sing a cappella, because that helps. It gives us the backbeat that we feel, and it feels more natural. It's sometimes, when you're up on stage and you're trying to do something, you can sometimes just make mistakes, and you get off and you don't even realize that you're off. That's something to work on in rehearsal. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Just go with it. The show must go on. Now you might be able to when the phrase comes around, okay, when you get to a okay. Right. 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 So you can ask him in a neutral moment. Ask him, hey, how can I help you with that? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you can ask him, because if you've talked about it ahead of time and he's going on 1 and 3, but you're over there and you come in and you can even step up next to him and go on 2 and 4. But if he's agreed to it ahead of time, he'll go, oh yeah, okay, and he'll be like, thank you, and that will be helpful. There's a great video of Harry Connick Jr. one time. Have you seen that? It is amazing. So Harry Connick Jr. he's playing piano, and he breaks down as just him on his piano, and he's singing, and the crowd starts clapping on 1 and 3, and you can see it on his face. He's like, wow. And you can see him looking at the rest of his band, and everybody's doing it. And so as he's playing this blues thing, he throws in a bar of 5/4, so it just switches it back so the crowd keeps going, and all of a sudden they're on 2 and 4 again. They had no idea what they were doing, but he just played a bar of 5/4 so that he could get it shifted back. Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's brilliant.
I will say that we did have in the Turning Point, we had one particular person that really had a hard time with rhythm. Remember this? Okay. But we used them all the time, still singing and everything, but they knew I don't have the best time. And so we would often, he would just look to the side, and he would get a reminder of where we are or something. But it worked only because he was aware of it. So it doesn't mean they can't do it. It just means they have to be aware of it.
Yeah. Yes, Mike. If you don't know the lyrics? Right. Oh, yeah. Yes. Having your lyrics internalized, which is different than memorized. I mean, memorized is great, because when you memorize something, that definitely internalizes it. But I just know with the amount of worship songs that we do, because there were times where we would have 40 or 50 songs that I would be able to pull out all the time and do at any moment. So I don't have all of those lyrics memorized, but I have them internalized where I know them enough so that if I can glance at the screen, I can remember what they are and do it. Right. And so I think it's very important as a singer and that's part of your preparation ahead of time. I'm so sorry, I keep turning my back to you guys. But so it's so important as part of your preparation to really internalize your lyrics so that you know what they are. And then as you are rehearsing it and as you're going through it, you'll be able to do it. Because, yeah, there's so many things that you do have to think about. You have to think about the lyrics. You have to think about your breathing. You have to think about your intonation. You have to think about your blending. You have to think about are we coming in at the same time? Are we cutting off together? Are we pronouncing our S's together? You know, how are we doing our S's? And then after all that, am I closing my eyes and worshiping God, right? You get through all this technical stuff, and then is my heart at a place where I'm totally there with God? So, and that's why the preparation is really important. So we're not just coming out on a Sunday just going, what songs are we doing today? Okay, great. But we have all of that already done so that we can do it. And yeah, it's a very important part of it. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think as long as it's my perspective is as long as I know melody perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
harmony perfectly, and so that is challenges me. I can speak but memorize all the lyrics.
Right.
One of the honestly I rather not going off and sing.
Right. Right.
So as long as the melody is perfect, I know the things, then I think that as much as I can prepare for if that's something I would explain myself.
Right.
At the same time, I've been been kingdom for a long time, been here and there, but I really never heard what you just shared about the dependent leaders, how we sing. You have to the best of you can to match the voice.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard that.
Right.
All this has been kingdom 30 years.
Right.
But I love it.
Okay.
Because it completely makes sense. I would sometimes go that why I feel so uncomfortable to sing in certain big congregation, and why I feel so uncomfortable because it's something uncomfortable hearing.
Right.
And it seems like this melody, harmonies match, but something off. And so I get that part on and off, but what you explained is completely makes sense.
Okay.
I've been kingdom for 30 years, but this is my first time. I hear from you. I've been in Chicago. We have amazing choir.
Right. Right.
I'm in New York. We have amazing choir. But I think that is so much makes sense.
Yeah.
So, how can I ever explain that? It depends on who's leading.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make the best to make a match with the voice.
Right.
I love it. I thank you so much for sharing that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Low expectations.
Apparently, we've exceeded your expectations. I love it.
I got the best out of it.
Okay. That's so good. I love it. No, that's really good. And I understand what you're saying too about the memorization, because and especially some of these songs have a lot of words. And that's why I was even the difference between memorization and internalization. So I don't have all the songs memorized, but I have them internalized. Like where if I can see them, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is. Right, right. And so I just I can glance at the comfort monitor, or the songbook, or my lyric sheet on my music stand, but I don't have to look at every single word to be able to make it through. But it's there as an aid to me to do what I need to do. So yeah, that's great. Yes.
So regarding since there are song leaders, and as someone, I guess who is called a song leader, how do you sometimes there's miscommunication, especially with which way, because sometimes the order we sing the verses is different, or maybe even little things to do with the notes are different. How do you recover from mistakes on stage? Because I found myself singing the wrong verse on accident, or accidentally singing extra verse that was cut out by the song.
Right. Everybody hear that? How do you recover when you make a mistake on stage? You smile, and you keep singing. And I think knowing if you're just kind of aware that, like, I'm going to have thousands of opportunities to be on stage and sing in my lifetime. And some of them are going to go really well, and others of them are going to be a little bit more challenging, and others of them I'm going to make a huge mistake and embarrass myself. And it's just kind of how it is. So when you make a mistake, the thing that I actually love to do is catch the eye of somebody else on stage and laugh. And I'll when I'm playing, I'll look at somebody and just kind of laugh. Because it's in the big picture of things, I try to remember this. My mistake doesn't matter, because we're right here. We're talking about technical things. We're talking about breathing. We're talking about intonation. We're talking about blend. But then at the end of the day, all of that is to serve the ultimate purpose of helping people worship God. And so if I make a mistake, that doesn't keep them from worshiping God. And so even if I sing the wrong note, if I play the wrong chord, that doesn't keep people from worshiping God. So the ultimate purpose is still accomplished. Then it becomes about me, and I have to choose to not make it about me. I'm here to serve the purpose, but if I make a mistake, amen, this is going to be fine, and I just go on. There was I can't remember if it was teen camp or youth camp, where it was, but it was one of those this year. And there was one particular night that I made so many mistakes, and I can't remember. I don't even know what was going on. But my computer wasn't working, and and I was playing the wrong notes, and I was singing the wrong lyrics, and it just kept going. It was finally comical. I just had to start laughing because it was so bad. So I understand. Yeah. Now, is that the question that you're asking? Did I actually answer it, or are you asking something else?
Oh, it was like more like,
Something that is unique in our situation is that we have these words, the lyrics, everybody's looking at these lyrics. Used to be that if you were a singer and you made a mistake, you just keep going. Pretty much nobody's going to know.
Nobody's going to know.
Nobody's going to know.
Right.
And that's sort of a classical thing also in my world. It is, you just keep playing.
Yeah.
You're not going to know. Just keep playing, act like you meant to do that.
Right.
But the problem with service is that you got these words up here, and you've been singing the wrong words. And the whole congregation is like, trying to figure out, do we sing what's on the screen? Do we sing what she's singing? Which do we do? And then at some point, usually the singer will realize, oh, wrong place. So those things happen, I will say. I don't know if that's more of what you were thinking about, but there's times you will find yourself in the wrong place from where the prompters are. And then you just kind of laugh and recover, like, okay, guys, sorry about that. Sometimes if you will joke about it from the stage, it just alleviates the whole problem, because the whole rest of everybody will feel comfortable. Because up till that point, they're usually like, they don't, they just feel uncomfortable, like, I don't know what the heck. So then when you make it like you own it, and you go, oh, what was I doing? Then everybody relaxes. I don't know if that helps you.
I haven't been here in a long time. Do the words that are on these screens also on that screen?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
supposed to be.
Yes.
Sometimes you come in and there's
Yes.
nothing up there.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I think for today, that's going to be it for us. Okay. So what I want to encourage you to remember, the last scripture that I had on there, on our presentation, which I'm not going to ask him to get back to, but oh, go for it. Yeah.
So I only had one thing Jay said, we were talking about what we were going to talk about today. He said, I only have one thing to say. I haven't said it the whole time.
That's